So it's International Women's Day, and this is real life. Dogs on the bed, kids running around, and also looking at my magazine that I write for with lots of inspirational women on it. But what is it actually like being a woman in the so-called media world, whether that be online, in the press, on TV? Personally, I've done a bit of everything. Whilst in the press, it's always reported that I'm a belly dancer. Yes, that was a big part of my life growing up as a 14-year-old. But people always like to refer just to that point because that makes you sound sensual and feminine, so to speak. But that's why the press love it, because you can't help but read stories and think, we have still got a long way to go. Like, for example, Palmer's cocoa butter. Now, you're probably thinking, oh gosh, is she doing an ad? No, I should be the face of this stuff, but I'm not. But it always makes me laugh because I've always used it from like my dancing days, my performing days, my presenting days, working on Channel 4 News and all of that. But whenever the press has reported on me, and I don't see the same with my partner Danny at all, it is like she slathers herself daily with cocoa butter. It's like I shove it on my face, love, and now I rub some stuff on my belly to stop my stretch marks getting any worse. But that's as sensual as it is. But just how we talk about women, or like at the moment, I'm always the partner of Danny, which is fine. I love being his partner and fiance and soulmate and wife almost. But at the end of the day, everyone just refers to you being a belly dancer. And whilst there's nothing wrong with that, it's weird because actually I'm a journalist. I run a social enterprise. I've run documentary making companies, and I've done lots more. Belly dancing is probably like 1/8 of my life, but people just focus on that because we like to put women in boxes. And this is what I notice so much in the media. But I have so many female heroes in the media. Locally, we've got my client, PT client, Christine Tolbert. She's brilliant. She was on an ITV calendar for years, as well as Krista Ackroyd on BBC Look North. I love them both, and they're both fierce, feminine, and just gorgeous humans inside out. I've actually got Christine on this magazine, also Tola Dole Fisher, who edits Woman Alive. She's also amazing. We've got Catherine, who does Yorkshire Live. There's loads of women at Yorkshire Post who I work with who are just incredible people inside and out. There are so many women online in the media rocking their stuff. Sarah Cobham, who runs Forgotten Women of Wakefield. There are just women all over. And it's also not just women in the media. That's just the world I'm in. But it's your everyday women. My mum's a hero. But lots of mums are. And this is what we've got to like take our hats off to, know the women doing the everyday roles, the unsung heroes, the doctors, the nurses, the people staying at home with the kids. There are so many women out there, but still we really need to change how we approach equality, as in equity, because this is all about embracing equity. So it's slightly different to equality. Equality is where everything should be equal. Equity bears in mind that sometimes you might have to make adjustments for things to be equal. So I know, for example, I'm up the duff at the moment, and already people are writing me off. Oh, well, you won't be able to do that. Oh, well, you won't be able to do that then. And it's like, no, I'm a woman of my own mind, and there's women carrying babies and pregnant, working in fields and picking tea leaves. I just write and talk online for a living and do a bit of personal training. I'm pretty lucky. So we can't assume what one woman is, but this is what we do. We like to pigeonhole women all in a box, make it nice and easy. But actually, women are multifaceted. We are diverse in so many different ways. So I want to big it up, and let's actually change how we work things. Let's actually make adjustments so women can fit in the workplace, whether they've got kids or not kids. Let's not judge. Let's actually embrace equity, make the adjustments so that women can fulfill their desired roles. We have an awesome editor and manager at Sparkle CIC that's community media CIC at the social enterprise that I run. And oh my gosh, Esther is absolutely leading the way. She is editing all the videos, she's working with clients, she's doing absolutely loads. We've got a YouTube studio, podcasting studio. It's all those women, you know, working in tech, working in media, working in STEM. So many women doing incredible things. So let's celebrate those women. Women are more than someone's other half. Women are more than, you know, one bit of like sensualness we see or looks. So let's celebrate all women. Anyway, happy International Women's Day. What women in the media would you say have inspired you?
Well, I always grew up watching people like Judy Finnegan. I used to watch her on the local news, and I also loved it when they started This Morning, which is kind of my kind of programme. And she's an incredible woman because she's a very good journalist, but she also was very good at blending the light and the shade and bringing the best out of people. And I actually grew up thinking she was what I wanted to be. And, really aspired to what she's done. And I also admire her a little bit because she's actually had the courage to say, I've had enough of that now. She could have stayed, presenting news programmes or presenting all sorts of programmes for many years, but she wanted to write books and spend more time with her family. I admire the strength to walk away from a very, very high-powered and very high-profile job. So she's certainly somebody. Another is Mary Nightingale, who presents the ITV News, who I do know only but not as a best friend or anything. But I'd love to be her best friend, but she's not my best friend. But I just love her professionalism and how she copes. I've seen her deal with many breaking stories and admired how she does it. She does it with such coolness. She's always on it, but she also has that warmth that I think draws the viewer in. As well as another person I've always admired is Kirsty Young, the broadcaster. And I think we've seen her. I remember when I was watching her when the Twin Towers occurred, and she was on air for hours and hours dealing with one of the biggest news stories I think ever across the world. And she was absolutely fantastic. And I've seen her again and again over the years, even just doing the royal wedding and things recently. She's absolutely brilliant. So she's somebody else I admire.
Brilliant. And I know I grew up watching KAD, and I always wanted to be a war foreign correspondent in the wars. And watching her, even though I was like the opposite to her in how I spoke, I still loved how she went abroad and did all that amazing work. And then Marie Silver as well, who I worked with, and then also you and Krista Ackroyd as well, who I grew up watching on TV.
Krista's a great friend of mine, and honestly, there's no one like Krista Ackroyd. She really is a total pro. You could throw Krista into any situation news-wise, and she just comes up trumps. She's a brilliant journalist. And maybe,
but you both are, and you both got a different style, but it's so in-depth but kind as well. That's what I love.
Thank you. That's a real compliment. Thank you.
So, but yeah, there's so many amazing women these days in the media, so let's change the world and get more women in the media, because it's so important that women's voices are heard. And I think we just have a different way of looking, because we've got different life experience, so different way of looking at media.
Yeah, I mean, what you're doing on YouTube, that's the media. It's a different way of doing things, and you're working for the Yorkshire Post as well. And you're showing now how diverse it can be to work in the media, and how important it is to know about all the new platforms on which you can work with the digital stuff as well as the print stuff that I started out in, and it's incredible how you've made a great success of that.
Thank you so much. So I'm here at Dakota Hotel asking women who their women of inspiration are.
I think I'd have to say Jacinta, the previous New Zealand Prime Minister. I think the way that she responded to a lot of the press and the people that were around her were fantastic, and I think she was a great example of a female leader.
There are lots of women that inspire me, but in particular Oprah Winfrey. I think she set the standard out there for women a long time ago to be empowered and go out, believe in yourself and rock that confidence.
I have to say my mum. Every day my mum has cared for me, looked after me from the day I was born, and she's shown me what's right and what's wrong, and she'll always be inspirational to me.
There are so many. I would always say my mum. But for the person in the public arena, I always say Michelle Obama, because I think she's got this wonderful mix of real credibility, but she's got that warmth and empathy as well. So for me, when it comes to brand and impact, I always say Michelle Obama.
Oh, every single woman on this earth inspires me. Who inspires me the most? Currently in West Yorkshire, we have got Deputy Mayor Alison Lowe, total inspiration, and we also have Tracy Brabbin, who is West Yorkshire Mayor. Those two ladies are leading the way when it comes to women and girls safety, so they're really inspiring.